All right, good evening, everyone, and welcome to Free. I'm Ryan. I'm the pastor and executive director here, and this is Carrie. She is the associate executive director here. So good to be with you all on this Saturday night. Welcome to all of you joining us online. We're glad you're here. Glad you're part of this community. So make yourself at home in your living room or sober living or treatment center or bathroom, wherever you're joining us from. We're just glad you're here. All right, y'all, just to remind you, what?
We're just making fun of you.
You're making fun of me?
That's all right.
I can take it. I'm a big boy. Hey, to remind you all, this is a community for addicts, loved ones of addicts, and spiritual refugees. And what we do here is break the silence of addiction while creating space for healing, recovery, and spiritual connection. And as y'all know, there's always one thing we don't do in this community. It's 4 words. You can shout them out on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. We don't do shame, but we do try to welcome people. If this is your first time with us, if you're new with us, we would love to give you a little welcome bag. You can see one of our home team members, or a couple of them are raising their hands for those of you in person, and they'll give you a little welcome bag when you leave. It's got some fresh roasted wagon coffee in it. It's got some swag in it. Is there still a card in it?
There is the card. It's the meeting schedule.
The meeting schedule card. And if you want to know more, it's been a long time since I've said about welcome bags.
But on the back, if you scan the QR code,
it'll take you to sign up for a newsletter.
Yep.
Carrie loves talking about the newsletter because all of our events and meetings and everything happening here at Free, if you want to be more in the loop, sign up for the newsletter. It goes out every Thursday, and it's a great way to stay in the loop, so I encourage you to do that, especially if you're new with us. Online people, you can do it too. Just go to the website, freerecoverycommunity.com, and you can sign up for the newsletter there. Did I get it all, Carrie?
you did. Welcome back. You
It's good to
were
be back.
missed.
Yes. We were able to go on a little vacation as a family and get away. We were in a beautiful country. You're going to hear more about it next week, a beautiful country called El Salvador. We just loved it. We ate so many pupusas. If you haven't had pupusas, man, you ain't really living. All right, Carrie, tell us some things coming up before I get too lost in pupusas.
And if you are on the newsletter, you would know. The whole reason for signing up is so you can stay connected to all that we have going on here. The first thing coming up, and I will not tell you too much about it right now because we are so lucky to have Lex as our guest storyteller tonight.
Woo-hoo.
But on Sunday, January 18th from 3:15 to 4:45, we are going to host what's called Sovereignty in Sobriety. And again, I'm not going to tell y'all too much right now. It's a cliffhanger. Stay tuned. Lex will explain a little bit more later on tonight, but just save the day, Sunday, January 18th. Next up, my friends, we have our call for vendors. So we are hosting our 2nd annual Recovery Resource Fair. You guys might remember this from last year. This entire building was packed.
We had 500 people in here that day. It was absolutely bananas.
It was bananas.
Good
And it was
bananas,
a little
though.
overwhelming, I'm not going to lie. But if you guys want to participate, so if you're sober living, any sort of recovery resource fair, maybe it's employment services, maybe it's sober livings, treatment centers, whatever it is you can that you provide, you can scan this QR code, you can apply to be a vendor, and then even if you guys are not a vendor but you're interested, it's going to be on March 12th. So again, save the date to come and join us then. This is simply our call for vendors, and the deadline is February 8th to apply to be a vendor.
Awesome.
And I think that's all I got for you now.
All right, thank you, Carrie.
Sober,
Yes,
no, that's
I
that
will say a
guy.
word about Sober
Good
Open
job.
Mic. Sober Open Mic Night is in, what is today? January 10th, right? Say January. Since vacation days are really fuzzy to me. January 22nd is our next Sober Open Mic Night. It's on a Thursday night. We are changing the time. It used to be from 7 to 9 p.m. We're just making a 30-minute time difference here, 6:30 to 8:30. And if you haven't been to one of the Sober Open Mics, we partner with the Phoenix on this. It really is a great time. Performers come up here. You do have to sign up to perform. The link will be in the newsletter, also on social media. And it's an opportunity to cheer people on, root for people. We get musicians up here, comedians, all kinds of performances. And what I love about it is oftentimes it's people like performing on a stage for the first time in their sobriety, and it's a really important thing to them, and we get to root them on. So I encourage you to come. It's a good time. That'll be Thursday, January 22nd, 6:30 to 8:30. Yeah, I think that's all the things coming up, but I do want to show you all a video, and I want to preface it with this. You're going to see Mike's story in just a moment. This is on gambling addiction. And if you're thinking, man, why are we talking about gambling addiction? Or maybe you've seen it on our social media pages, and you're like, wait a minute, I thought it was just about drugs and alcohol, and why are we talking about gambling? Here's what I know, and gambling isn't my thing. I'm not a gambling addict. I do understand addiction when it comes to booze and drugs. I don't fully understand it with gambling and sports betting, but what I know is I understand the outcomes. I understand where it takes people. And the number of people I've met in recent months who are here in this community who describe the same consequences. Their families are taken from them. Everything is taken from them. They hit these bottoms, and it's the same with any other addiction. It's the addiction of escapism. We want to escape. We want to fill something out there. That's something that's missing in here. And so we are paying attention to this one. And to just show you a little bit, maybe you saw this on social media. This video hit over 1 million views on our social media pages, but this is Mike's story. Take a look.
My name is Mike. I've been bet-free since December 14th, 2020, and this is a letter to my gambling addiction. Hey you. It has been a few days since I talked to you last. In fact, it has been almost 5 years since I let you talk for me. I let you be my voice for way too long. But through the grace of God and a lot of hard work, I'm speaking for myself now. And boy, do I have a lot to say. Growing up in and around so much chaos, so much struggle, so much self-doubt, and so much isolation, I began to rely upon you at an early age. You were my way to feel like I belonged with my family, with my friends, and anyone who came into my life. You were that voice in my head for over 30 years. If I was sad, I would hear your voice. If I was mad, I would hear your voice. Happy, hungry, frustrated, lonely, it did not matter. Your voice was all I ever heard. Your voice became my identity, my personality. I started to believe that being known as the gambler was the best way to represent myself. All of the hard work and blessings in my life meant nothing. You controlled me to the point where your voice was the only one that mattered. I had so many dreams as a kid, as a teen, and as a young adult. I always thought that I would just grow up and grow out of this. Even after I had a wife and child, I somehow believed I would either stop listening to you or that I could make this lifestyle into a successful venture. But that is just what you wanted me to believe. You knew the whole time that this would not end well for me if I kept listening to you. But you did not care. My emotional and spiritual well-being was a toy for you to play with. My finances and relationship struggles were just collateral damage. In fact, my mistakes just made your voice louder. It made me believe that this is who I was and this is all I would ever be. You would have not been satisfied until I was in jail or dead. It has always been a mystery to me why I quit listening to you on December 14th, 2020. I do not know what about that day made me decide that you should not speak to me anymore. All I know is that I thank God every single day that I no longer listen to you. This is why I keep track of my days away from you. Every day away from you is a celebration. But tomorrow is not guaranteed. I know that I must remain focused every single day to keep your voice out of my head. The day I believe I might not be tempted by you is the day I could falter. I have a great support system to help me when I feel vulnerable. I have gained skills that keep your voice muted, but I will never forget you. Most importantly, I will remember that my worst day without you is infinitely better than my best day listening to you. My life has gained so much purpose without you. In fact, my personal and professional mission is to ensure others do not have to listen to your voice take control of their lives. Whether it involves walking alongside someone fighting to no longer listen to you, or letting others know how loud your voice was in my ear, I will do everything I can to make sure you stay quiet. For the first time in my life, I am truly proud of who I am. Lord knows I am not perfect, but I can fall asleep every night knowing that I'm making a difference. And every morning, I say goodbye to you by saying hello to the serenity of a life without you. By acknowledging the power you once had over me, I develop an overwhelming amount of strength and focus to keep you out of my life. Maybe I will write another letter to you someday, or maybe not. Who knows? What I do know is that I will fall asleep tonight without your voice in my head, and I will wake up tomorrow morning to make sure others do not hear you. And this purpose keeps my heart full and my soul cleansed. Sincerely, Mike.
For sharing your story with us. And by the way, y'all, I should remind you that is the fastest growing addiction in the U.S. Man, I was watching the Nuggets game with my boys last night. You can't watch a Nuggets game without ad after ad of sports betting and drawing in new people. And I'm not knocking the ads. I'm just saying it is everywhere when you start paying attention. So do pay attention. And by the way, we have new GA, Gambling Anonymous meetings starting here. Jerome, do you know when those are starting? When the new one is starting? Tuesday and Saturday. Well, I'll tell you what, go to sign up for our newsletter, and it's all going to be right there. How about that? You like that, Carrie? You like that? Oh. All right, y'all, the way we get started here at Free on a Saturday night is with celebrations. We start with the good. We lift up the good. Maybe you're here and you're celebrating a sobriety anniversary or birthday or whatever the new thing in your life or recovery is. We celebrate it all here. New jobs, new homes, new babies, new whatever it is. We celebrate it all. Nothing too big or too small. We take 3 minutes for this. All you got to do is raise up your hand. Erica will get you a mic on this side. Jason will get you a mic on this side. And if you're online, drop your celebrations in the YouTube comments or the Facebook comments, whichever platform you're joining us from, and we'll join with you there. Let's take 3 minutes. This time is yours. Oh, and we have these coins for in-person people. In-person people? That's weird to say. If you're celebrating your first 30 days of anything, Erica or Jason will give you a coin. And they're kind of cool and pretty, and they have, well, you'll see it when you get it. Let's take 3 minutes.
Before we take 3 minutes, we talked about pupusas. We had somebody, we're going back to pupusas. I wish, Ryan wishes, not that cool. But last Wednesday, we had somebody here celebrate something pretty magical. Ryan Canada and his amazing pupusas. Congratulations.
Check.
My name is Kathy, and we are celebrating the birth of a, great niece who was born cesarean after 36 hours of labor. so, Ileana Delight. So, thank you.
My name's Nicole, and I hit a year of sobriety.
Hi, my name is Lauren, and I
have been told by my sponsor that I should share. I am finally on step 8. It's been a long time coming, but I'm really excited. I'm really scared, but I'm doing the work. So here we go. Okay, thanks.
Hi, my name is Melissa. We'd like to celebrate our son's 9 months sober and navigating some sadness and disappointment over the holidays really well and staying strong.
Hi, I'm Courtney, just celebrating my husband Buddy's birthday that was yesterday.
Hi, my name is Marjorie, and I want to celebrate my mom's 72nd birthday. And I'll be 45 on Tuesday, so we're celebrating together.
I can't get a coin, but my sponsor's godson is 3 years old and was in the ICU since last Sunday. And just yesterday, he got off of oxygen, which was a huge deal. So his name's Saren.
Hi, my name's Simone. Just want to celebrate the fact that I get to go back up to Harmony Recovery February 7th to speak again. Super excited for that.
Jason, you want to join me up here, dude? Come on, brother Jason. Yeah, keep the mic on. Oh, there you go. Jason, sorry you got overtaken by Tammy Canaday.
I was hiding in the back.
I wondered where you were.
I was hiding from that pupusa picture.
Man. I made that on vacation one night, and I intended to just show my wife Tammy, but then I started sending it to people. I didn't know it was going to make it public.
Be careful what you share.
I'm blushing.
I'm blushing too.
So embarrassed. Okay, that's you want the first one?
Jaden says, my fiance and I celebrate 6 months clean together on the 15th.
All right, way to go, Jaden. Happy 6 months. Miriam says, I'll be 8 months sober tomorrow, 111. Way to go, Miriam. Happy 8 months to you.
And Renee says, celebrating 159 days clean and sober today.
Woo-woo, way to go, Renee. Congratulations. Kay says, I'm Kaylin and I'm an addict. I celebrated 4 years free of meth and fentanyl on December 14th. Way to go, Kaylin. Happy 4 years.
And Ian says, I'm Ian. I'm sober for 2+ years. Happy to be here.
Happy to have you here, Ian. Happy 2 years. All right, thank you, Tammy. How'd the coffee meeting go? It was good. She was meeting with another coffee person just a few minutes ago. All right, y'all, we started a new series last week called The Hero's Journey. Next week, I can't wait to share with y'all the title of the message next week, Cinco Más Minutos. I know we're kind of white in here, so if you're struggling a little bit, 5 more minutes. I'm not going to give the whole thing in Spanish, I promise. But, man, I was laying on a hammock just a few days ago, and we had this really wild day. I'll tell you all about it. And the guy said to me, here we are in the middle of nowhere, in the middle of the jungle. He gets out of his car, and he says, Cinco más minutos. And I had no clue where we were, and well, I'm going to tell you all about it next week. But this week, Carrie is going to bring us a message on the power of belonging and why and how you belong.
Every hero's journey begins with a truth you can no longer ignore. A quiet whisper that grows into a roar. You feel the pull to leave the old life behind, to step away from the familiar and comfortable. It's that moment you decide to step into the unknown. You take a breath, and you trust that something bigger, something more powerful, will carry you forward. This isn't just about self-help or small changes. This is about transformation. This is about death and rebirth. It's the journey of letting go of who you were, so you can become who you were always meant to be. This is the hero's journey. Every hero's journey.
Hello? Okay. Let's try this again. You belong exactly as you are. When you hear those words, how do they sit with you? Are they easy to hear and you agree with them instantly? Is there resistance, and does it make you doubt? What would it take for you to finally believe that you belong? As the Associate Executive Director here at Free, I engage in countless conversations and reply to emails all the time of people who want to tell me exactly why Free Recovery Community is not for them. Some people tell us we're too religious and they want nothing to do with the God stuff. Sorry about the mic. Tell me if it gets annoying. Others tell us we're not churchy enough. Some people tell us they want absolutely nothing to do with 12-step recovery. And some are adamant big book thumpers who think we're doing something wrong by living our recovery out loud. One thing that I think they all have in common is that all of them are looking for the loophole, the clause that confirms that they don't belong here. And I understand exactly where they're coming from. 4 years ago, I used to drive up and down Evans every single day, taking my kids to soccer. I would drive past this building, and at the time, the sign out front read Free Spiritual Community, Breaking the Silence of Addiction. I had absolutely no idea what was happening inside this building, but I knew it was not for me. At the time, I refused to go to meetings that were held in church buildings. I would only go to 12-step meetings that were held in clubhouses, places that I found to be neutral ground. Months passed by, and I wouldn't even Google Free Spiritual Community. I didn't want to know what was happening in here. I joke that one day I was lovingly bamboozled by a friend who said that she wanted to meet for a cup of coffee and go to this 9:30 meeting that she had heard wonderful things about. That morning, she sent me the address, and it wasn't until I was a few blocks away that I knew it was that building that she was taking me to. So scared and suspicious, I sat outside, probably longer than necessary. My fear wasn't that people were going to be kind. I find that often most people are pretty kind to your face. What I was afraid of is that they would welcome me, but I wouldn't really be wanted. What if I didn't believe the right things? What if I have doubts that I'm not supposed to say out loud? What if they find that although I had some time in recovery, I still, on most days, have no idea what I'm doing? I still struggle to be an adult. I still struggle to be a human. I was wearing an outdated survival skill like armor. It was safer for me to judge that I didn't like you people than risk you deciding that I didn't belong. Most of us learned from an early age that belonging was conditional. Follow the rules, color within the lines, don't ask for too much. Somewhere along the line, many of us started doubting ourselves, asking, am I allowed to be here exactly as I am right now, or do I need to fix something first? In fact, those same thoughts may or may not actually still be going on in my head right now. Perhaps it's because you're going to learn that I don't have a lot of Bible knowledge. Some days I still get insecure that all I know of my higher power came from my journey in 12-step recovery. Most of what I learned about Jesus at first came from watching the show The Chosen. And for those of you who don't know what The Chosen is, it's a TV show about Jesus that's still, I know, it's kind of funny, but it's true. But it's a show about Jesus who follows the very messy lives of the people who encounter Jesus. And as much as I love a good TV show or movie, I found that the book is usually better. So if I found myself intrigued by a character and I wanted to know more, I would go directly to the source, the actual Bible. I know, right? Pretty funny. However, so tonight I want to talk to you about a story that I love. It is found in Mark chapter 5. It's a story of a woman who had no name. Her identity was reduced simply to her condition. She was simply known as the woman who bled for 12 years. Now I know, guys, bear with me for 1 second. I know you may be thinking to yourselves, this story has absolutely nothing to do with you, but please try and stay with me, because I bet you know what it's like to slowly lose yourself and feel alone. Her suffering and 12 years of bleeding was not just physical. For 12 years, she suffered socially. She was cut off from normal life, forced to avoid crowds, and unable to participate in simply daily activities. She lived with a stigma that many of us understand. Always in hiding, staying on the edge, never allowed to be fully seen. Addicts know what it's like to be physically present, but emotionally absent. Always hiding the real you, numbing, masking, avoiding. Loved ones know the isolation of carrying a secret, not wanting to explain or defend your reality. Spiritual refugees know what it's like to sit in a room filled with people who you think are so certain of their beliefs, while you quietly wonder if you belong there at all. For 12 years, she suffered spiritually. Back in her time, if you suffered from a mental or physical affliction, it was believed that it was because either something you or your family lineage had done and that you deserved this. God was mad at you, and your condition determined your value. Addicts often believe that God is disappointed in them, distant, and waiting for them to behave better. Loved ones wrestle with guilt. If I just had more faith, or prayed harder, or had done something different. Spiritual refugees may believe that God exists, but isn't safe or trustworthy, and certainly not interested in them anymore. For 12 years, she suffered relationally. Connection felt dangerous. She lost all ability to know intimacy and the ability to be fully known. Rejection felt inevitable, and her pain made her feel like she was too much. Addicts know the ache of wanting closeness, but fearing exposure. Loved ones know what it's like to emotionally starve, but still be asked to show up. Spiritual refugees often silently carry church hurt because their honesty is met with judgment instead of care. In the story tonight, the Bible tells us she had suffered a great deal under the care of many doctors and spent all she had. Instead of getting better, she grew worse. Addicts, we've spent money, time, and our dignity just to feel okay. We tried willpower, control, and every different type of therapy just to get this thing. Loved ones spent years emotionally hemorrhaging. Love turned to depletion. They sacrificed their sleep, their finances, and self-abandoned time and time again. Spiritual refugees turn to religious institutions for help with their struggle of faith, and instead of understanding, you were met with judgment and shame. You gave your trust to spiritual systems, and you were betrayed. For 12 years, she knew this hurt. Yet, she still believed. She heard of this radical rabbi who could perform these miracles, and she thought that if I could just touch a thread on his clothing, she could be healed. She knew what taking this risk could cost her. She knew she could be exposed. But one day, when Jesus was passing through her town and with a crowd, she risks everything and reaches anyway. We're told immediately her bleeding stopped, and she felt in her body that she was freed from suffering. At once, Jesus realized the power had gone from him, turned around in the crowd and asked, "Who touched my clothes?" His disciples were confused because there was a lot of chaos and mass happening around, and they were saying, "What do you mean, who touched my clothes?" But knowing the healing that had happened in her body, she fell at Jesus' feet and she confessed what she had done. And here's the absolute wild part. Jesus could have responded in all sorts of different ways. He could have shamed her. He could have told her, "Now you made me dirty." He could have proven that she did not belong. But instead, Jesus stops, looks at her, and changes everything with one word: daughter. Not woman, not sinner, not problem. Daughter. In that one word, everything shifts. The woman with no name was now referred to as daughter. The outcast is claimed as family. What shame once kept private, Jesus speaks out loud. This is boundary-breaking love. A rabbi calling an outcast woman family. A God who doesn't judge the wounded, but claims them. Daughter. Daughter, your faith has made you well. Go in peace and be freed from your suffering. For a long time, I got confused about what faith meant. I thought faith meant certainty, that it meant to have confidence, that it meant having all the right answers and having it all figured out. But she didn't step out of the crowd because she was sure. She stepped out of the crowd because staying hidden was killing her. I didn't walk into Free that day because I believed it held the missing piece to my happiness. I walked in that day because I was tired of being surrounded by people and still feeling alone. Her faith looked like reaching. Mine just looked like walking through the door. Neither of us knew what would happen next, but we knew we couldn't stay where we were. That's what faith actually looks like. Not certainty, not courage, but movement. And here's the easy part. Here's the part that's easy to miss. The reaching isn't what created the belonging. It just revealed it. It was already true. Jesus just gave it a name, daughter. And when Jesus says, be freed of your suffering, Jesus is not telling us that you will never know pain again, that you will never have doubt. What he means when he tells us your suffering is over is that you will never suffer alone again, that your pain no longer has to happen in exile. Her bleeding was never the deepest suffering. The isolation was. So let me ask the same question that I opened with in a slightly different way. What are you still waiting to heal before you let yourself belong? What are you waiting to be called? Jesus called her daughter, and it changed everything. When I first came to Free on a Saturday night, and I heard Ryan Canaday up here on stage saying, "My free brothers and sisters," I thought to myself, you have got to be kidding me. I love you, but in my head, I was like, really? Is this just some cheeseball pastor line that y'all learned in pastor school? I know it's called seminary now, but this is 4 years ago. And no, I'm not about to compare Ryan to Jesus, but I finally get it. I finally get what he has been trying to tell us all along. We belong. We all belong exactly as we are. So if all you did tonight was show up, you belong. If all you have are doubts and questions, you belong. If you're exhausted, unsure, still bleeding, you belong. And if by some wild and crazy miracle, you actually do have it all figured out and you have no idea what I'm talking about tonight, you belong too. Just like the nameless woman, wherever you are on your hero's journey, daughter, son, brother, sister, you belong. And now we're about to hear a song that I have loved since I was a child. It needs very few introduction because I know you all know it. So take this time is yours, and just remember that we never have to do this alone again. my hair back, so hopefully that won't do that annoying little mic sound, so bear with me. If you are new with us, you should know that every single Saturday we invite a community member up into the living room to share their experience on the topic at hand. This is super exciting because Lex is actually one of the very first people I met in Denver. I don't know if you know that. And so this is super exciting. So our paths have crossed in so many different ways outside of this building, but in just different areas of recovery. And then now she's going to bring one of her amazing offerings to Free. So you guys have no idea the amazing treat that you're in for, but do me a favor tonight and please help me welcome Lex up to the living room. I think so. Try it now.
Hello.
There
Yes,
we
there we
go. Hi.
Hi.
Welcome.
Thank you.
And I promise next time you're here, there won't be the cameras or the lights, and it'll be a little bit more intentional when you're here on the 18th. So thanks for bearing with me and like kind of just jumping in to the pool. So thanks. I wanted to start, I really want to get into more current day stuff with you, but I would love to hear a little bit of your backstory. And I know when we did a little bit of the pre-interview, one of the things that I love so much about your story is that you talk about the self-abandoning and the self-harm that came as your first escape. So before drugs and alcohol came into the scene, can you tell us a little bit about what that was like and how it transitioned into your drug and alcohol journey?
Yeah. For me personally, when I got sober from drugs and alcohol, it wasn't until then that I realized one of my first escapisms was self-harm at a really young age, around 10 or 11 years old. And even now in my sobriety, you know, the urges come up. It's usually not drugs and alcohol anymore. It's the very first thing that I use as a way to escape. And I feel like that's really important for my story to know that it's not just drugs and alcohol, but it's just the wanting to escape out of my body and kind of going back to the belonging piece is like I never felt like I belonged, like even in my body. And so anything to get out of it, anything to not feel what I was feeling, and that was self-harm, was the first ways that I found relief.
And that's very common. So a lot of times you hear about what your first, and you may not know it at the time, like you had said, but a lot of times that very first coping tool that we picked up, usually in young adults or adolescents, that's the first one that comes back when we take the substances away. When you first got sober back in 2018, and you started working in recovery in a different. I mean, it is recovery, but it was also like recovering the body. Can you tell us a little bit about your personal journey when you got sober and kind of what drew you to what you do today?
Yeah, I was a mess my first year of sobriety. Like it was very common for me to just be having panic attacks out of nowhere, or just like find myself collapsing in the kitchen floor and just crying and not knowing why. And so for me, there was so much of the mental, emotional processing that I was doing in therapy and 12-step programs, but so much of it came back to my body was not processing. It was remembering everything. And especially being away from drugs and alcohol, that first year, all the stories and all the memories were being felt so much in my body. And so I was very drawn to working with my body as a way to heal and to process as well, and allowing that to be the ground, to be the foundation for everything else to build upon.
And what did that look like? Like, what did you dive into? So if someone is new to recovery and they're like, what are you talking about? Like, can you tell us a little bit about what it looked like?
Yeah, so one of the first things that it's honestly such a blessing how it kind of just showed up in my lap. But the main thing that has been for me has been what's called trauma release exercises. And so anything that's a somatic practice, somatic meaning body practice, anything that gets us back in the body and grounded again. And so with trauma release exercises, it's actually a very innate mechanism that everyone has access to, and that's the beauty of it. And so once going through a sequence of exercises, your body goes through a natural shaking mechanism. And so it helps to release the stored trauma, tension, stress in our bodies. And my experience, I had no idea that I had anxiety until I got sober. Like, I never let myself feel anxious because I'd always just reach for the drug or the bottle. And when I got sober, I was like, oh, there's a lot here. And this is why I drank. And so, yeah, for me, it's been coming back to the body, and that's been one of the most beautiful practices, has been the TRE practice.
And that's what we're going to be doing here. So it's once a month.
Once a month.
So can you walk through? So again, I really encourage you guys to sign up for the newsletter, because it's also in there. I know I hate to say it, but it's true. But the reason is like, because you'll also find out how to sign up for this. But can you walk us through exactly what to expect if they were to come on the 18th?
Yeah. So coming in, it's really about the connection piece too, and really being able to access different modalities. So for this practice specifically, we go through a little opening and grounding of the space. So grounding, just being present with each other and within the circle. And then we'll go through the full sequence of exercises that induces the natural shaking of the body. And it does sound scary. I mean, trauma release has a pretty heavy connotation to it. The first time I did it, I almost backed out because I was like, I have no idea what's gonna happen. Might be like an exorcism, but
in a good way, though.
In a great way. We're purging. So for me, yeah. So we're gonna do that practice, and then we'll shake for about 10 to 15 minutes. We usually do it to music. Music is a really beautiful way for the tremors to also be supported. And so we're going to do that. And then integration is just as important as the practice itself. So the integration being, we're not releasing trauma and then like going back into the world. We're going to transition. So I also offer ear acupuncture, known as AcuDetox. And so that's really great for urges and cravings and stress and a great night's sleep. And then we can also do some energy work, all things just to get back and grounded in the space and present, and always doing community shares, so for everyone to be able to chat with one another, their experience, their struggles, their hopes, and yeah, just a beautiful way to connect to our bodies and to each other.
And I know you said for like 10 minutes that you're shaking. Just to clarify, it is not, I mean, this is at all exercise levels, right? Like, so this is not like, you can come with any sort of experience, isn't that right?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so this isn't as intense as it may sounds. And I know, gentlemen, that we've already talked about periods tonight, but I do want you to know that this is not gender specific, right? Like, this is for men as well. So this is not like just a full-on like female evening. You guys are welcome too. And this is one of the things that this is a space that it's not intimidating, because you don't have to know what you're doing. And the great thing too, what I loved what you said is, you are not looking to hook them into your services where they constantly need you all the time. Your goal is to teach them practices that they can then go on and do on their own, right?
Yeah, this is why the beauty of this practice specifically is that once taught, that it's something you continue to do on your own. So you'll have all the resources and tips of building a home practice. This month marks 4 years since I've been offering this specific circle, so I'm really excited for it to be at free now. And it's always been very co-ed in this space as well. But yeah, the TRE practice, how I've seen it work in my recovery and the recovery of others, has been when we talk about, you know, when we're in sobriety, life happens on life's terms still. Like, things are really hard, but we have this tool that we can access that is our own body to help us come back to a place of groundedness and peace within.
And you're going to stick around. So if you guys have questions, she'll be here after. And then you can find out more information if we can throw up her flyer. So if you guys have your phones, you can snap a picture of her flyer. You can follow her on social, and then also just the different offerings. I do believe that this is linked in our on our events page as well. I think you can find out her information. But in closing, I wanted to, for the person who is still out there, or perhaps it's someone online who can't come live, on the 18th, what sort of belonging can you encourage people to come home to themselves, come home to their bodies? And if someone has no idea where to get started with that, what can you leave us tonight for a little bit of inspiration?
Actually, I've been reflecting on the breath a lot recently and how breath translates to spirit, and how we can just even use our breath to come back to ourselves. And so if it's hard to access community circles, or depending wherever you're at, just like knowing that even putting a hand over your heart and just being present with the breath, like what does that feel like to start with? And just noticing the sensations.
That's what Ryan says. He's had a whole sermon, right, about that God is as close as a breath. So sounds like Ryan needs to come to a sovereignty. Thank you so much, Lex. Thank you for joining us tonight. Can you please give Lex a round of applause?
Thank you, Lex, and thank you, Carrie. Lex, I'm so glad you're bringing your offerings here at Free. Very exciting. I'm glad to have you here. All right, y'all, the way we close things down here on a Friday night, I almost said Friday night. The way we close things down here on a Saturday night is with what we call heartaches. It's similar to celebrations, but it's like the opposite. Because what we know is each week we can try to carry these burdens. Hard things happen. You go through something, and part of you will say, man, just stay quiet. Don't let people know this. Don't cry out to God with this one. It's too small, it's too petty, or it's too big, and people won't know what to do with it. And what we know is you have community here. You are surrounded by people. You don't have to walk the journey alone. We have a God who hears the cries of the people. We see that over and over in the tradition and the scripture. So we take 3 minutes for this, the same as celebrations. If you are carrying a burden and you need some relief, just getting those words out, that's what this time is for. We take 3 minutes. Erica and Jason will pass around the mic. If you need some prayer, some lifting up, some encouragement, that's what this time is for. And again, if you're online, just drop your heartache in the YouTube comments or the Facebook comments. We'll join with you there. 3 minutes. This time is yours.
My name is Sheila, and on January 1st in the wee hours of the morning, I found out that my granddaughter's stepfather, for lack of a better term, was killed, probably after lots of alcohol involved on different parts, but after an argument, he was stabbed and killed in Houston. So prayers for the family.
A friend of mine came home yesterday to a dead roommate, so prayers for them.
Hi, my name is Christine. My husband Gerald and I own Serenity Stables, and we had to put down our little Miss River on Wednesday. She had laminitis, and she was just a beautiful soul, a beautiful horse. Touched a lot of people, and it was just been a really hard week for us.
Hi, my name's Tanya. Prayers for a good friend of mine who just lost her father this week. Thanks.
I'm Jerome, and I want to let go of a resentment I've been holding on to a little bit. We got home from vacation, and our home was robbed of some things. and I walked through the anger and stuff, but I have very few prized possessions. But the person even took my pickleball stuff, which is something that ties a few of us in the community together. But I as much as I wanted to just keep that stuff in, it's time to let it out. A little more lighthearted than the deaths, and I feel for those. But thanks.
My name is Weston, and earlier today, a music mogul, Bob Weir, passed away, and he just impacted a lot of people, including my life. So.
Jason's mic.
Sorry. I just want to say there has been a lot of people in my personal life who have been dealing with cancer. And some of them want to remain anonymous just because they don't really like the attention. But so if you guys could just keep those who are affected by cancer and going through treatment just in your hearts, because it's often something that happens very silently. So that's all.
Lifting them up. Thank you, Carrie. Jason, you want to try to join me up here again? Now, if my wife tries to run you over, we're going to have some words with her. Come on up here, big dog.
All right.
Hey, and I also realize it happens all the time, but a lot of stuff is going on in the world. And sometimes you get perspective, like when you leave the U.S. for a little while and you come back and you don't hear things while you're gone, and then you come back and you see there's some messes and there's some breaking hearts. There's some, talk about trauma. There's some real trauma happening in the world today, and it's not lost on me. It's not lost on me the need for community and not knowing what to do and not know. Kavita and I were just talking about this. What do you do when you don't know what to do? When you see pieces of the world crumbling around you and it's people you love, what do you do when you don't know what to do? And being community is part of it. So, Jason, I know you know about this stuff, dude. We've talked about this stuff a lot. And shall we join our online people?
Yes, let's do it.
Let's do it. You want the first one?
Sure. This is for Jaden. Prayer request for my dad. Just got from his job. Prayers he find his work soon.
All right, Jaden. Prayers for your dad. Rita says, prayer request. Because of my alcoholism, I lost my fiance, who is still trying to forgive me for the way I've wronged him for my selfish needs. I want to be reunited and healed. Rita, prayers for you and the fiance. I don't know exactly where that relationship is, but we do know the devastation of alcoholism and the things it destroys, and so prayers for healing and prayers for recovery.
This is from Terry Yakia Kahun. Those who were successful in alienating my oldest son after my second born. He is hurting, struggling. I am praying that their truth will be set us free.
Yeah, prayers for you, Terry. I know it's been a long journey. Terry. Prayers for you and the family. Renee says, I'm having a biopsy on Monday for cancer. Prayers for good results. I'm so nervous. Renee, lifting you up. Prayers for Monday. Hope you get the best possible results.
This is Ian Heston, 7004. Took a spill into the tree, snowboarding, praying for a speedy recovery, please. I definitely hope you recover soon.
Yeah, prayers for you, brother.
Yeah.
Glad you're here tonight.
Yeah.
Simon, or Simon, or Simone. I mean, okay. Well, I don't know how they pronounce it, so we're just going to go with Simon. Prayer request, because I've been struggling mentally and emotionally. Pray for my fiance because I know she's dealing with a lot and dealing with her sobriety, but still sticking by both my side through these hard times, and we hit 6 months this month. Happy 6 months, and
Yeah.
prayers for y'all. Keep on going.
Yes.
Prayers for sobriety, recovery, all the good stuff. Thank you, Jay, for joining me up
Thank
here,
you.
brother. Love you, dude. Well, if you have been impacted, my free brothers and sisters, my brothers from other mothers and sisters from other misters, if you've been impacted by the mission here at Free, which is breaking the silence of addiction, you should know, I hope you know, we are funded by you, the people, and we're so grateful for your giving here. It truly does make a difference. If you would like to donate tonight, there's a few different ways you can do it. You can download the app. It's free to download, Free Recovery Community. All of our content's on that app. All our guest storytellers messages. There's a giving button on there. You can hit that giving button. You can give one time, or you can set it up to give weekly or monthly, however you do it. We're grateful for all of it. You can do the same thing on the website, freerecoverycommunity.com, or there's the giving kiosk for those of you in person, just outside both sets of doors. And don't forget about the Kind kiosk. It's the one-tap system. It's kind of a fun way to give, a simple way to give, safe way to give if you want to do it that way. We're really grateful for it. And I know for many of you, you never had a giving practice in your life. In addiction, it robbed us of giving. And you're getting used to now giving because you realize it's not all yours. It's all just a gift. And I realize some of you are stepping into that. And I hope you know we're really grateful for it. And I know there's online people too who have never stepped foot in this building. And yet somehow we have become your community, your people. And I know some of you give and you've never been here, and we're grateful for it. It truly does make a difference here. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Shall we go out with a prayer? Yeah, I think we should. I would encourage you to just open up the hands. Maybe tonight you just need that simple reminder that whatever's going on, whatever you've been through, whatever bleeding you're still encountering, you belong in all of it. That all of it belongs. That God calls you sons and daughters. Yeah, so just take a big, deep breath. Yeah, and you can let that breath out. Our Hebrew ancestors, they called it the ruach, the breath that is the life source of all things, and that God is living and breathing and in us and through us and all around us. If you don't know the Lord's Prayer, it's on your screen. We'll pray it together, and it goes like this. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen. Amen. Grace and peace to you, and we will see you all next time. Take care, everyone.